Let's make this Christmas tree topper.
I'm going to be making a tree topper bow, one of those big giant bows that goes on the top of your tree. And you're going to want to watch this because I had this quick scan over on Etsy, and those things go for like $55 to $85. So it's not going to take that long. It's not going to be that hard because you know I don't do hard. I always do simple. And then you're going to have a great, amazing bow to put on your not so amazing tree. So hang around with me for a few minutes and let's get this party started. So what I've got here is I've got 3 different ribbons. This one's from Michaels, this one and this one are both from Costco. So I've got this cute little snowman ribbon from Costco, the red buffalo plaid. They're in the stores right now. This is like October if you're watching later in the year. Michaels always has this stuff in stock, and around Christmas time it goes 2 for the price of 1, so keep an eye out for that. So I'm going to use these 3 to make myself a bow that's going to fit on top of my regular Christmas tree, but I'm going to show you just on the top of this at the end because I don't have my regular tree set up yet. That'll be a few more weeks. Can't get it past my husband this early in the year, okay? So what we're going to do is we're going to take these 3 ribbons, and one is single-sided, which means it has the print on one side right there, and then on the other side it's not as printed. That's okay. It doesn't have to be double-sided ribbon. I use a lot of double-sided ribbon. That just makes it easier. But it's okay, it's fine, single-sided, double-sided, whatever. So it's about 2.5 inches wide, I think. Oh, this is like 2-inch wide, and it's wired. It must be wired, which means that you can bend it and shape it, and it'll stay, okay? So bend it and shape it, wired ribbon. So this is 2 inches wide. I'm gonna use all 3 about the same width. So we have the snowman, the buffalo check. Actually, the buffalo check might be a little wider. Let's measure that, all right? And that's also like, that's about 2.5, 2.25. Doesn't matter all that much, as long as they're pretty similar, okay? That's all we're really looking for. Pretty similar. I don't know exactly how many feet. We'll do the math at the end when we figure out how many wraps we did and stuff like that, okay? I'll get one of you guys to do the math because that math is not my thing. And I've got the three types here. So what I'm gonna do is, first of all, I'm going to grab all 3 ribbons and run them together at the same time. So if I had like something I could put this on and just pull it like a spool, that would be great, okay? And if I don't, well then I just do this. All right, so I'm going to start it off like this. I'm going to get all 3 ribbons pretty much the same, going in the same direction. I do want the printed ribbon going in one way on the outside. And I'm going to take a clothespin and just use that to hold them all together. See that? Just like that. Just hold them all together. So I'm going to measure, now this is going to take a little finessing, all right? And I'm going to measure from, oops, there goes my fancy little tree. I'm going to measure from here. I want about a 10-inch loop, all right? Now if you can see my measurements here, I want about a 10-inch loop, and I want to do the first one just halfway, so I want it to be about 6 inches and then fold, okay? So I'm going to go 6, flip it over so that the printed side is down right now. Measure about 6 inches, so it's a little more than half of 10, right? And I'm going to fold it over basically. This is gonna get interesting, all right? So fold it over, so there's my halfway mark right there. See that? Can you all understand what I'm going for here? All right, I'm just gonna put these 3, I don't really want them on top of each other, I just want them side by side so that I can pull on this and just keep pulling ribbon, okay? Off the spool, basically. All right, so I've got 6 inches right there, and it's flipped over, and then I'm gonna measure to 10. See that? See how that clothespin is just holding everything together for me? All right, so I'm gonna go nice and slow here, measure to 10. There we go, so I got a 10-inch fold to fold, right? And fold it again. There we go. So I want this piece to get caught more or less in the center, all right? I'm making loops. I don't know if you can see this, but I'm gonna just undo that. I want 10-inch loops. You can do bigger, but see, I'm making a loop. Got that? And this end here is caught in there, okay? So I'm gonna loop this around like 4 or 5 times. So we're just gonna keep going. So this would be great if you had it on a spool. I don't, right? You don't have to, you just do whatever works for you, right? And I'm just gonna slowly, not try and rush through this, right? Did I tell you that I looked on Etsy today, and these babies are going for like $65 a piece for the tree, right? I just want to flip this over. You just have to get it so everything's going in the right direction. There we go. Takes a bit of, getting yourself sorted, right? But you want 10-inch loops is what we're trying to do. See this loop here? Now I'm going to make it flat. I don't care for now, as long as I can just wrap it around. See that? Once you get it started, right, like this, I'm just flipping it over, making sure everything's flat and even and all that to the next bend, and I'm going to flip it over again. See how easy that is? It keeps wanting to jump in there, so I'm just going to keep nice and slow for now, all right? Don't try and rush through this. It's going to, this is the hardest part. This is the hardest part, guys. So I have, let me see now, how many loops do I have here? 1, 2, 3. I'm going to go for 4 full loops all the way around, okay? So that's 3, because I'm just crossing that halfway mark again, all right? See where that clothespin is, basically? And then I'm going to do 1 more full wrap around. See, I'm trying to rush. Don't rush, Kim. So wrap it around, just like so. Come all the way around to the clothespin and go past it. All right, so flip around. There we go. You could have all these on the floor rolling all over the place. That would be kind of fun. Like balls of wool, right? Make sure that everything's flat and straight. What's happening here? Oh, that got twisted. Okay, so there we go. Just untwist it if that happens, right? And I want to go to that clothespin and past it with all the three wired ribbons. What are you? Let's have a look in here. What's going on? What's going on in there? Behave yourselves. All right. There we go. Okay. So this is basically my halfway mark. That's why I have the clothespin in there. All right. So I'm going to see how I've gone past it with that final wrap. Right, there's my clothespin. I'm going to go past it and I'm going to cut it off. There we go. And you can take the clothespin and clamp it all together if you want. All right. So you just want to make sure that that first bit that you have and this last bit cross over each other so that you can catch them in your bow, okay? So I'm going to use this clamp and I'm just going to hold it all together like that. See that? Got it all held together like that. I'm going to find my middle, all right? Basically do this, fold it in half. And my clamp is pretty much in the middle. That's great. That's all I need to know, right? I just want to know that I'm more or less on the middle, all right? So see, my clamp is just about in the middle. Perfect. I'm going to leave that for a second, okay? Now, you know those beautiful spirally streamers that come off these bows? I'm going to show you how to do that too. So my tree is only 2 feet tall or 1 foot tall right now, but normally if you're doing this for a regular tree, you want your ribbons to be at least a foot longer than your tree, okay? So I'm going to double this over. So let's say my tree is 4 feet tall. I want this to be 8 feet long then, or 10 feet long. So I want 4 feet for one side of the tree, 4 feet for the other side of the tree, plus the extra foot on each side, right? So you want your streamer to be 1 foot longer than your actual height of your tree, all right? So that when it streams down from the bow, it looks really good. Or from the top of the bow to the tree, right? So we're gonna pretend I'm doing that. I'm just gonna do, wait, I need all 3 colors again. So I'm just gonna do like a 2 foot or 3 foot one, just to show you, like I don't have my tree up, so I'm just gonna measure out let's see, we got 18 inches there, plus 6 more, it's 24. So I'm just gonna take a 2 foot piece, actually I'm gonna do a little longer because I wanna show you how these streamers actually work. But your measurement is the height of your tree plus 1 foot on each side. And if you're doing this, we're basically doubling the ribbon, right? I'll show you in a second what I mean. So I want you to double the ribbon plus add 2 feet, all right? So 6-foot tree, make the ribbon 6, 12, 13, 14 feet long, right? Because you're gonna fold it in half like this. So you get 6 streamers out of 3 pieces of ribbon, all right? So we're gonna find the center on this basically. Again, needs not be perfect. Let's imagine this is the center, right? Of course it is. I say it is. You can argue with me. All right, so find the center. And we're going to take our clamp. Now, that side, I can trim this down a little bit. That side on the outside where this is, that's your bottom. Okay, that's going to go on the bottom. That's the bottom of the bow. I want you to set it the middle of the bow on top of the middle of this. All right. Line it all up if you can. Grab your clamp. Oops. Mine's breaking. Oh, Facebook Live. You gotta love it. All right. And I've got it all clamped together halfway, right? It's just holding. It's an extra set of hands, basically. This is, a lot of the women have, you know, trouble with joints and arthritis and things like that. This is easy for that, right? Because there's not a lot of grabbing and holding and stuff. Now, this is probably the hardest part. We're going to take our scissors and we're going to cut about 1/3 of the way down the bow and about 1/3 of the way up at the halfway mark through all of this. You might have to do it in a couple of passes, right? You might have to do, like, see that? There we go. And then I'm going to flip it around and do it on this side. And you can move, once you get it started, you can move that clamp down and get it out of the way, right? If you can do it all at once, great, but that takes a lot of hand strength, right? You're going through all the ribbon, everything, the tops, the bottoms, the streamers, all of that. So, and it's wired, right? So about 1/3 of the way on each side. These slits are what make the magic happen. All right, so see how we've got it. Where are we now? There we go. So you can see slit up there. Let's see if you can see that. And then slit down there. All right, all the way through all of them, right? That's the big deal. And then take a pipe cleaner. I don't use a zip tie for this because I want this to hold this on my tree. Now, pick a pipe cleaner that's the right color. I don't have any green or red, so I'm showing you with the blue one. It's not going to show up much anyway. And you put them in the slits. Pipe cleaner goes into the slits, and then you just pull it and twist that, and you can pull that clamp right off. So I've got my pipe cleaner now, okay? That can come off, you're done with that. So here's what we have. See that? That's right in those slits we cut. That's why we only went 1/3 of the way. We didn't go halfway and halfway. We would have cut right through the ribbon, right? So 1/3 of the way and 1/3 of the way through all the ribbons and all the streamers. So you can see the streamers are starting to take some shape, right? And this is your bow, right? So now what you do is you grab, pull one loop. Now see, I'm getting a couple there. Pull this guy out, give it a twist, right? Pull this guy out, give it a twist. Pull this guy the other way, twist. Pull this one this way, twist. Get your hands in there, right? Get your hand in here. Pull it on the other side, give it a twist. Grab this guy, give it a twist. All right, take this one. We're just working from the top to the bottom on all the bows, and we're only on one side. Give it a twist. So let me see if I can put this down so you can see what I'm doing. Put your hand in. Basically, you grab, pull it away, get your hand in there, and then twist it. Basically, use your hand. And then grab this next layer and go to the other side with your hand in there and twist, right? And you just keep doing that till you've got all of these pulled apart. This is where the bow starts to develop, right? So there we go. And then you just get your hand in that last one and fluff it up a little. Now this is not ready yet. Now we're going to go to this side. Remember, we still have all those. See that? We still have all those. Do the same thing. So you can see it's starting to shape up, okay? So we're going to take this one and we're going to twist. We're going to take this guy And we're going to twist. So you can do this as many colors as you want. I went with 3. I think 3 is enough. When I did any kind of painting and stuff, 3 was often all you needed. Like more than that, it started to get a little busy. But I wanted to show you that it can be single-sided ribbon, which is what the snowman is, or double-sided ribbon. As long as it's wired, it's all about the same width, right? Then you're good to go. And you're going to be making yourself some of those fabulous bows for the top of your beautiful Christmas trees. Keep pulling them apart, and then you'll have this last one. And inside you might see this little bit. You can trim that down a bit now when you get to this point. So I'm just going to give it a little trim. But I'm not going to worry too much, and don't go too close, right? So you've got all these in there, and we've still got, I just want to show you, the reason I use the blue pipe cleaner is we still have that blue pipe cleaner there, okay? That's going to be how we're going to be able to attach it to whatever we want. It's right in the middle of the bow, okay? Let me see if I can show you this. All these colors are making my camera a little crazy. It's right in the middle of the bow there, all right? So we have this, and then of course you have to fluff this up, right? So you start just playing around. Now this part can take a few minutes, all right? I'm just gonna move down here. Don't rush through this part. This is actually kind of therapeutic and a bit, it can be interesting. You want the bows going in different directions, which is why you did the twist, and that's why we did this cut. The slit there helps them separate, right? And then you can pull some up that you, like if you want the black and white to show more, you can pull it up, you can push the red down some more. Then that wire, right, is gonna help keep the shape of your bow once you get it fluffed into the place you want and where you're happy with. I'm gonna grab those pipe cleaners again. Happy with the shape. You can see it starting to shape up for the top of your tree, right? And then, now, I'm not going to spend half an hour doing this, but you probably will when you get it ready for the tree, right? And that's perfectly fine. That's exactly what you need to do to get a good look, okay? So just remember, it doesn't happen in 2 minutes, right? You're going to be really fast at these, and if you want to make some money, start selling them on Etsy once you get the hang of this, right? But I want you to understand that it's okay to take a few minutes to make it look really beautiful, right? And to move colors around so they're not, don't have all the same color next to each other. And, you know, you can do it all with a single color if you want. You can do it with smaller loops if you want. I'm just gonna, then you can push, you can use the wire to help push the bows more into shape. See that? So it's starting to really look more like one of those big loopy bows that goes on top of the tree, right? And there's your little hanger thingies, your little streamers, right? So let me just show you what I'm going to do with this. So there's a couple of things you can do. Well, there's actually a whole bunch of things you can do. You know that, right? There's a couple things you can do, but I'm going to show you how to make the streamer first, right? So those kind of, you know, they spool down kind of thing. All I do is I take something like this, right, which is for making pastry, right? And like you literally just wrap this. Now I'm going to actually trim this first. So I've got a nice little end on it. See that? And then I'm going to wrap this around just like this, all right? Wrap it up, roll it all the way up, and the wire is going to do all the work, all right? So we wrap it all the way up to the top. Then you can pull this out, and then you can pull this down, and you start to get that, see that? Check it out. See that look? That's the streamer look that's going to come down. So you do that to all of these guys, right? So let's trim this off. Take your, whatever, it can be this, it can be this. This is what I had. I like this, it was a bit smaller. So I'm just going to wrap it around, wrap it all the way back up to the bow that I'm making, right? Because that, what it's doing is bending the wire, right? And so you can get that curly look. So you're going to want to do all these first. You can just, it's kind of like curling your hair, right? Just leave it like that while you do the rest of them. Let's get that done. And then we will unfurl them basically, right? So that they are streamers. that go down your tree. This is what I wanted you to do with 3 ribbons. I wanted you to double the height of the tree plus 2 feet. So it goes up and over the tree, right? So there we go. Get that off there. It's like we're curling its hair. There we go. So, and then I have some other ideas as well for adding a bit more on if this is not enough for you. You know, less is more is better. It just depends on your personality. I'm a less is more kind of person, right? I like making it simple. I want it to be simple. So if I can make it simple for you, this is what kind of started this whole thing today. I was like, I wonder if I could make one of those tree topper bows. And I thought, oh, I probably could because I have a great loopy bow that would work for it. And then I thought about the streamers and I thought, well, I know how to do that. I'll put those 2 together. And then I thought, I wonder how much they go for. I looked on Etsy. It was like, whoa, okay, we definitely need to know how to do this, right? So this is, now you can use them not just on your treetop, but you could use them on your banisters. You could use them outside of the house on the, you know, the newel posts and things like that, right? Wherever you want. But it's not going to cost you $53 a bow, right? Or $85 a bow. So, so it's going to cost you, I don't know. We did 10, 20 inches per wrap, and we did 4 wraps, 5 wraps, let's say. So that's 80 inches of ribbon, 3 ribbons, right? And then we did, somebody do the math for me. 80 inches of ribbon times 3, okay? And then we did the streamers. So we did, let's say we did a 6-foot tree. 6, 7, 8, 16 feet times 3. That's the total amount of ribbon we used, okay? And whatever that cost you. So can somebody tell me how many feet that was? If they would do the math for me, I would appreciate it because I can't do math in my head. I don't love to. All right, so do the math and let me know how many feet that was. It's not $55 worth of ribbon. That I can promise you. All right, so I've got them all curled, right? See, can you see the little curls there? All right, and then I can just pull them down, pull them out like this, right? And they take this beautiful little streamery look. And the more you pull, the more you're gonna get, like you can do this. Now imagine this on a 6-foot ribbon instead of just a 2-foot ribbon. See that? Okay, so going all the way down your tree. That's my thinking, because, you know, that's how I roll. And I'm just going to keep doing this to all, I've got to find them all now. They're all hiding in there. There we go. And there's another one. So you're pulling from the center out after you've wrapped it. You're grabbing that cut end basically and pulling it straight out. Not too hard, right? But it keeps the wrap, it keeps the curl from the fact that you wrapped it up, right? So it keeps the curl in the wire. So I'm going into the ribbon, see the wrap there? And I'm trying to find that cut end that I did. And I'm just gonna pull out like this. Yeah, and there we go. And then you just play with it and push it a little bit if you want it to open up a bit more, okay? See those? Pretty cool, eh? All right, so there we have this. See, look at that. Look at that. And there's I have my pipe cleaner still. Hang on, I gotta grab my fake little tree. Okay, we'll pretend this is my tree and I'm decorating, okay? I just needed this to be small enough, so this is one of those Dollar Tree trees. So I'm gonna take my pipe cleaners and I'm going to just tie it to the back of the tree, or however you want, right? Twist it on there, like so. And then you can adjust your ribbons so that they spool down the tree just the way you want. You can put this, you're gonna have to adjust the top of your, you're gonna have to adjust the top so it sits on top of your tree, right? Like so. And then you're gonna have to, of course, play with the ribbon and get it just so. Now, there we go. And we have the streamers. Like, we're talking, I just saved you guys a ton of money. Look at that, all right? And then you, like I said, if you did these ribbons twice the size of your tree plus a foot, 2 extra feet, It's going to go up to halfway mark and down to, then you're going to have these go all the way down to the bottom of whatever size tree you are doing on this. Now, so if that's not enough, and I think it probably is, I think too that you could add in a few little, let me just cut a few of these up. I brought along some berries, right? So these are dollar store or something. Whatever you have, right? You know me. Whatever's around and you think will make you happy, that's what I want you to do. So we're going to take these, right? Now, I would glue these in, to be honest, right? And or you could just tuck them in. See that? You can tuck them right into your bow. Now the red doesn't show up all that much, right? So you can do that, right? And tuck a bunch of these into your bow, put them on your tree, right? But here's something else I thought you could do, okay? Because, you know, there's always so many ways. So we've got this guy. There we go. And you just want to pop these up. Now if you wanted to add a little more zhuzh, right? I've got this some gold ribbon, right? And I want to add some gold in there, let's say, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take ribbon like this. It's also wired, but it's narrower. It's like 1 inch wide. And I'm going to cut a piece like this, all right? And I'm literally, because it's wired, just going to twist it like that. I don't need to do anything else, so I'm just going to twist it like that, okay? And then I can tuck those in to, if I want to add more color. If I think, oh, it needs a little more, you know, a little more whatever, I can add more colored ribbon in there. So wired ribbon, and I would glue that in there, to be honest, right? So I'm going to cut that in half. So I'm doing, these are about, because somebody always asks me, 10 inches, right? And I'm going to fold it in half. Because it's wired, I don't need to do anything but squish it together and twist it, right? Because if I want to glue it, I'm just going to glue that right in. So I can tuck it in somewhere. There we go. And it acts like I've put more ribbon in there. I eyeball it, guys. I just kind of like what size I have, and I'm good with that. But if you had some, I think some, maybe some white or berries would be nice in there. So I'm just gonna see. And like I said, I would give that a quick glue, but can you see what's happening there? So I'm gonna add some more on this side. So you can bump it up even more, right? And if it's glued in, then you're going to be able to treat this like it was wired in, right? So I'm going to do this. It's kind of looking like a what's the word I'm looking for? There we go. Tuck you in there. Those round flower, or not flower, plant things. I want to say it starts with a P, but I can't remember for sure right now. But can you see this? Like, check it out. Isn't that cute? Right? So you can see how that's going to be on top of a Christmas tree with the streamers hanging down. And if you wanted to add this as a streamer, you could certainly add that as well. So let's just take one and cut it long. All right. We're going to squish this up so we have something to glue it in. Okay, so we just squish that up. Now this end is going to be the streamer end. We're going to cut that, wrap it around our pastry roll or whatever we're doing. Right? If you want to add more in, you're like, oh, I think I like that color too. And, you know, hey, there's so many ways to get the job done, right? So I'm going to wrap this up. Now this, you'd only want the length of the tree plus 1 foot if you're doing a single side, all right? And then just reach into the center, like reach in there, right? And pull, kind of like a slinky or whatever. And then, da, 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 da. And then you can tuck that right in somewhere. And just hangs down beautifully. See that? So that's it, guys. That is my streamer bow for you. So like I say, you can tuck things in, you can glue things in. I would definitely, because I'm sitting, I can't see the top and all that, but you know, I'd be standing up and I would be adding things and tucking things in and gluing them in, right? So that this bow is gonna stay beautiful. Now, you're gonna wanna, excuse me, when the time comes and you wanna put this away, I don't know exactly how you're gonna store it, carefully, right? Or you just make a new one next year. Right? So, because now you know how, and it's not going to be much, and you're going to change your decor, right? So I'm going to keep going on this, and I just wanted to show you. I was so excited about this. I just thought, I got to show my friends, right? So I love it too, Chica. I think it turned out really well. It's one of those projects that, you know in your head, you're like, I wonder what would happen if I did this. And then I wonder what would happen if I did that, right? And then it's like, ooh, that's turning out. I'm going to move this down so I can see what I'm doing here. That's turning out even better than I hoped, right? So then I'm going to put that in there. And you can see, like, you can really bump it up with some extra, right? Look at that. It's almost like a bouquet, right? And I love the streamers. I think they just really make it. Now they would go down, you have 6 streamers if you use 3 ribbons, and they're going to just stream down the tree and look all gorgeous and beautiful, and, you know, so you're welcome.